Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Saturday, May 30th, 2020. Thanks for joining me. Hope you all are safe out there. I'd like to bring you a disturbing story out of the East Tennessee area. It's deriving out of Roane County. Child abuse case. I haven't discussed many cases, recently. I try to pick and choose what I talk about pertaining to child cases, especially dealing with death, because it's such a horrific subject matter, and it had become daunting, in the past several months, talking about child abuse and death of children. But I wanted to share this story with you, and if you need verification for the storyline, please log on to WVLT News 8. Second child's remains discovered in connection to Roane County child abuse case. Trying to line this up here. 2 adopted children who are in the custody of a Roane County couple are dead after remains were found buried in the backyard at a Hall's home, a warrant shows. One neighbor told WVLT News anchor Amanda Howard that he remembers the children for the conversations they had. Well, there were 2 little girls, and they were older than the little boys. The girls could hold conversation just like the adults, especially the oldest one, said Homer Johnson. Johnson said the boys that lived in the home were very quiet, but seemed to warrant attention. They never had much to say, but they were always wanting somebody to love them. When it came to the adults living in the home, Michael Gray Sr., Shirley Gray, Michael Gray Jr., and his male partner, Johnson, only had one word to describe them: weird. Johnson said he never had much conversation with adults because they were hard to talk to. Another child was found dead at the couple's current home in Roane County on May 22nd. The Department of Children's Services released a statement about the case on Friday afternoon. Words are inadequate. Cruelty such as this makes us question all that we know to be true. I am so grateful to the passerby who saw a child in a situation that just didn't seem right and stopped to help. That one small action led to the discovery of children who were victims of severe abuse and neglect. Those children are now in a safe place and being cared for, and their parents face significant criminal charges. I am also thankful for our DCS Child Protective Services staff who worked together as a team, followed their instincts to dig a little further when first notified of the situation, and immediately alerted law enforcement. State privacy protection laws prohibit me from providing specific details of this open case, but rest assured we will continue to work with law enforcement and the district attorney as they continue the criminal investigation and justice is served, said Commissioner Jennifer Nichols. The Hall's home's current resident is the couple's adult son, Michael Anthony Gray Jr. Investigators said they believe Gray Jr. was aware of the abuse and deaths. Records show a cell phone was seized from Gray Jr., that contained messages saying, "Hey, do I need to put redacted name and redacted name on the census? I don't know if they share info with the IRS." Investigators say they believe the evidence shows Gray Jr. was aware of the abuse despite telling authorities he was not. WVLT News reporter Robert Grant on Thursday watched as officials spent the day carrying boxes and bags from the home. By early afternoon, officials backed a large white trailer into the driveway of the home, possibly to store collected evidence. A warrant shows multiple items were taken from the home, including an iPad, a Nintendo Switch, a Nintendo Wii, laptop computers, and multiple iPhones. Wednesday, neighbors told WVLT News they watched Knox County Sheriff's Office deputies investigate the home and halls that property assessor officials said belongs to Michael Anthony Gray Jr. Records indicate he's the son of the Roane County couple charged in the death of their young daughter, who died after reportedly being kept confined to a basement for months and was fed only bread and water. Michael Anthony Gray Sr., 63, and Shirley Gray, 60, were charged after a 3-day investigation led officers to find the skeletal remains of a child behind a home in Roane County. Investigators said the couple admitted that the 11-year-old girl had died in 2017 and they buried her in the backyard. A neighbor told WVLT News that officials were at the home on Cedar Breeze Road in Halls early Saturday around 1:30 a.m. and that the coroner was on scene. Neighbors said they observed officials place something in the back of the coroner's vehicle. They also said they saw one marked Knox County Sheriff's Office vehicle. Neighbors said that they remembered the Roane County couple living there before the son moved in. Later that morning, neighbors said officials had equipment digging up the backyard. On Sunday, neighbors said officials were back and were taking things from the home. The owner, Michael Anthony Gray Jr., hung up when WVLT News called for information. The Knox County Sheriff's Office confirmed it has an active investigation but would not confirm further details. Knox County District Assistant District Attorney Sean McDermott told WVLT News anchor Amanda Hara ethical rules prohibit the DA's office from commenting on a pending investigation. When WVLT News called Roane County DA Russell Johnson on Wednesday, his office said he was meeting with Knox County officials. And that is the said information out of Roane County and Knox County. So as you see, we have two crime scenes, two areas of mischief and mayhem. These two people took in children or had their own children, adoptive children. From another said article, one of the older sons was found in a basement. I think a 15-year-old boy was in a basement confined. They used that as punishment because he had stolen food out of a refrigerator. Now, who the hell steals food out of a refrigerator where they live? That's his house. He lives there. He is your child. But now, your punishment for him stealing food out of the refrigerator is to confine him to a basement. And then this ball gets jumped off because of a child walking down a road, and that's what leads them to the parents basically waiving the rights to give the said information that they murdered these children and buried them in the backyard, the barn, whichsoever. It's all a bunch of BS. I don't know what's wrong with these old redneck hicks. I don't care for Halls anyway. Some of you listening may say, oh, don't say that. I'm saying it because I'm grown. It's my channel. I don't care. I don't care for the Halls area anyway, because most of you all out there, you don't care for black people out there. And it's not too many black people that I know that even live out there. I've heard of a few living out there, but I wouldn't take a dog out there. Yeah, I'm saying it. Because that area has been known for not being too kind to the black side. And I'm one of those type of people. I don't care how much money I got. I'm not going to buy a house in an area where it has been deemed a not likable place for African American people. Now, maybe these people have come to a different light 20 years in, but I'm just saying. I threw that in there because I felt like it. Let you all know the demographics of that area. Roane County is a little ways from the Halls area. For those who are familiar with the Knoxville area, and these people obviously like killing their kids, and then they've left this house to their son, who is now the owner of this said house. And I do believe he knows the fact that they have text messages of him asking said information about IRS statements and census reports, because he knew his parents had these children. But what I think interesting is now, after the fact, you have a neighbor saying how quiet the children were, they were in need of love, yah, yah, yah. But what I have to ask myself is, at what point did you notice the children not being seen? And did you ever inquire, hey, where are your children? Because, you know, a lot of you love to ask grown folks personal questions about their business and get in folks' business. So I find it interesting now, Mr. Johnson, you didn't think to ask them where those kids were? Same thing with the neighbors in Roane County. If you knew of them or ever talked to these sap-ass rednecks, you didn't think to say, hey, where's your daughter? Where's your son? Where's your... I'm just saying. So now we're talking about two deceased children murdered by this family, by these, let me take that back, these animals. You see, let me say this to some of you, and I'm tying this into another case I talk about on this channel, but have yet to discuss it because there haven't been any updates to a certain case out of Alabama. Because you gave birth to a child does not mean you have what it takes to rear a child. We all make mistakes in rearing children. We all are not fit to rear children. And you're not going to know what type of parent you're going to be until you have a child. Now, people are placed in foster care and up for adoption for various reasons. And I don't judge anybody that makes that step, because we all have went and stayed with other people as children. Be it on our own, or our parents didn't want us, or it didn't work out, or there were legal reasons. It could be mental issues, drug issues. People leave their homes to go live with other people for so many reasons. Children are placed up for adoption, into foster care for various reasons. People choose not to raise their children for various reasons. So until you know exactly what goes on in someone's home, you cannot say. But what I will say is, everyone is not fit to bear a child. And you will not know your potential until you actually have to rear a child. And I can say from what I've seen in this country and how children are raised and how they are treated and how their parents act, grown folks don't have no business having children. Children don't have no business having children. And because you keep your child does not make you fit to be a parent. So some of you need to stop judging people when you hear that they place their child for adoption or they let their grandmother or mama, auntie, uncle, neighbor raise their child. Maybe they did what they thought was best, because as you see, those who keep their children don't have no damn business raising their own children or other people's children. Let me throw that in there. When children are placed in foster care or with other relatives, that doesn't mean they are also fit to raise other people's children. Because you hear of abuse and neglect of people raising other people's children. So know that giving birth and raising your own does not mean you're fit and qualified to raise your own child, nor are there people fit to raise other people's children. Be by taking them in, forced to take them in, and or foster care, being a foster parent, adoptive parent. You hear horror stories all around the board of biological parents abusing their children, starving their children, foster care parents starving, abusing children, adoptive parents abusing and starving children. So it doesn't even matter. And this case also has biological children and adoptive children at play. And as you see, these two monkeys weren't fit, period. They're not, in my opinion, fit to even be breathing, because they didn't have any business torturing those children, locking them in basements, locking one of the girls, I believe, in a cage like a dog. You don't lock a dog in a cage. Hello? Come on with it. And that's the spoken word. You don't tie up a dog to a tree just like you can tie a human up to a tree. Leaving the boy down in the basement with fecal matter, with no food, and they said it was flooded down there. Yeah, if you read an early report, that is the said information of the 15-year-old boy that was in their custody. And now we're talking about 2 dead children buried. So you see, these are some stank-ass folks. I don't feel nothing for them. I don't feel anything for them. I will bring you an update to this situation. But just know, if you see anything that you deem unfit, unsavory with someone raising a child, I don't care if it's a foster parent, a group home, their own biological children, speak up and say something. Don't wait to give an interview after the fact stating how the child was. He was a nice boy. She was a nice girl. He or she was quiet. That don't mean anything now, because they're dead. They're dead. And had you spoken up on something you noticed not right in their child rearing, not seeing them around anymore, maybe they'd be alive today. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Thanks for joining me. You all stay safe out there. We're still in the coronavirus. Mask up, glove up. Wash your hands. And God bless America. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.